Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. It is episode 51 of the Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon by Richard Barton using the old school essential system by Gavin Norman, otherwise known as Necrotic Gnome. My name is John. I will be your referee for the evening, and going around the horn, we have a full house.
Hi, I'm Mike. I play Darius Vile, the second level assassin.
I'm David. I play a yet unmet character.
TBD.
TBD.
Hi there. I'm Matt. I play Njal, 5th level Whiskin Fighter.
And I'm Ted, and for the moment, I'm playing Mortis J. Gobliano, where the whimsy is turned up to 11.
Wrong game, Ted. Sorry.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Sorry. Where the Grimdark is turned up to 11.
Switch gears. Okay. We are back after our short jaunt back to Dolmenwood, although people who may be watching this years in the future will have no idea what I'm talking about. But it is episode 51 continuing on. We have a very interesting situation going on with our current campaign. We are in the midst, or we're about to begin, a 3-way party split. It's never been attempted before. I'm sure that no group ever in history has ever attempted this before. I'm sure we are forging new ground. With that said, we have no idea if it's going to work. I have no idea if I have the brain space to be able to manage it, and I don't know if these guys have the brain space to manage 3 characters at the same time. So we shall see what happens. If it ends up just being a slog or too much, we'll find a way to get everyone back together again, and we'll just meta the hell out of it. But we're going to give it a go and see what happens. So just be aware that we are not some sort of super group that can magically make this happen. We're going to attempt. We're going to attempt this. We're going to attempt it, but we promise no guarantees. All right.
And
so
John,
yes,
I presume you have considered just killing off 2/3 of the characters to solve this out, right?
yes, that's definitely an option.
In fact, I think the scenario that Group A is about to enter into is very likely going to result in that.
Yeah,
it's a big solution here.
Okay, so here's the way that it's
All right,
basically going to work. We're going to be figuring out rules as we go, but this is what I kind of come up with to begin with. First of all retainers except for Codswallop and Samantha are now player characters. That also means that they cannot return to being retainers. They are now full PCs. If for some reason they end up not being played anymore, then they are NPCs, but they are not retainers. Okay, so they will never ever get just a half share of XP. If you take them on adventures, you have to play them. Okay, if you want more retainers, you're going to have to hire them. So this is hold on one second. This is a now what we're going to be calling like a character stable. All right, so now you don't just have one main character, you have a whole bunch of characters that you can pick and choose from depending on where they are. The plus side of that is that wages no longer need to be paid out for any of those retainers that are actually PCs now, okay, full-fledged. The only one that has a debt is Njal. Okay, so that is still something that you're going to have to kind of take into consideration, Matt, is that Njal still has the unpaid debt to Avaricios and would still have a great desire to free himself of that debt. So just role-playing wise, you just kind of want to keep that in mind.
So kill Avaricios. Got it.
Okay, we have 3 different teams, and they're going to be labeled. We're going to be labeling them here on the show as well, and in all the documentation that you guys are going to have access to in the description down below and on our website as alphabet teams. So there's going to be A team, B team, and C team. We will be switching in between them at natural stop points within the episode. So we are not going to be doing one episode is A team and the next episode is B team. No, all 3 will get some time in each episode, unless we find out that doesn't work. But we're going to give that a whirl. So we'll be shifting POVs. Time tracked will be separate. I have 3 different time tracking sheets. So if teams end up looking like they're going to meet up again with each other, we're going to have to figure out the time differential and make that work, but I'm not worried about that right now. And then as well, there's going to be 3 separate Feats of Exploration worksheets that I'll be using. So you guys as players should be aware that it's not a cumulative thing. So like if A team explores 3 rooms and C team explores 2 rooms, you don't get to hit the 5-room minimum, right? It's like it's individual for each team. Just be aware. And I think that's all there is to explain as far as what we're going to be doing going forward. So I'm excited to see how it works, and we'll see what happens here. So we're going to be starting first with A-Team. A-Team, as the characters introduce themselves, we have Darius, Mort, and Njal. They are currently on some unknown level, and it is the 3rd of Gelenios. It is about 9:50 a.m. for A-Team specifically. They are in a great hall with a vast height, right? So you cannot see the ceiling. And in the midst of this hallway, there are columns at regular intervals that have all toppled over and scattered their stone all over the place. There are numerous egresses to all over the room, but there are 3 that are evenly spaced along the east. And from each one of those 3 passageways, let me switch over to Mirror Hero so people can see. Each one of those 3 passageways has a... sorry, I lost my page here. Has a barricade. And those barricades are 7-foot tall masonry walls that are running across each one of those passageways. And so there is a 3-foot gap that can be climbed over to get to the other side of the barricade. However, in the middle of each one of those masonry walls, rudimentary doors have actually been fitted in each one of them. So there are 4x4 wooden doors, all closed.
I didn't know that.
All closed that have been set into it. In addition, there is a pair of slightly ajar double doors on the western side, and a passageway leading to the west as well. And there is also a passageway leading to the south. There are numerous brackets for torches along the walls, and the ground itself and the walls are at various places show signs of having been scorched with fire of some sort. There's like soot on them, and there are a number of scattered arrows about as well. When you were exploring the room, Darius climbed up after hearing some noise up the western wall and came face to face with what appeared to be a baboon-shaped gargoyle. And as it sort of didn't realize that Darius was up there, because Darius is in the midst of using his Laryl's cloak for the second time today. It was invisible, put its stony claw on top of Darius. But then Darius was able to scuttle down as all of the gargoyles realize that there are intruders in the hallway and have screeched to life and are now basically coming down upon the PCs. In addition, however, they heard drums in the deep coming from the east as well, barking orders of officers, coming from the east as well. And you are fairly certain that what you're dealing with are beastmen that are rapidly approaching from one of those eastern corridors. Now, there are a couple of things that I just want to clarify. I made a mistake, although the map that Ted did has now been corrected, is that before you heard the drums, there were horns, basically, that blared out, right? The bells of those horns are basically jutting out of the western wall just north of the double doors. We had them spaced incorrectly because I gave Ted the wrong dimensions in the previous session, but now they are correct. So there are 2 horns. The bells of those horns are just north of the secret door. And one thing I completely forgot that I should have said whenever you approached it, before all this went down, so we're sort of retconning a little bit, is that in between those horns, there is a painting of a bearded man with empty eyes on the western wall between them. And when you approach within 10 feet, it actually animates. And speaking in Arcontian, modern Arcontian, it said, "The path of Lord Priscus is the path to enlightenment and fulfillment. The eyes will tell you the way."
Lord Priscus, eh?
We know that name. Why do we know that
Yeah.
name?
Oh, because of that little secret hidey hole at the northern end of the cavern that on where, F for respect, found. Remember, it's like that room where the spiders were, where the animated statue is.
Yeah.
The
Right,
chessboard,
right.
or for
Yep.
lack of a better description, the wizardly chessboard.
Okay.
What was the phrase again, John?
The phrase was, "The path of Lord Priscus is the path to enlightenment and fulfillment. The eyes will tell you the way." Priscus is Priscus. Perhaps to clarify things even more, any one of you here who has been in the Blue Pillar Room, which I think is all of you, yeah?
That's how we got here. Yeah.
Yeah, the Blue Pillar Room, recognizes the bearded face as the same good-looking, slightly, like slightly bearded, not like a heavy beard that you saw on the northeastern facet that also spoke to you. Where they
The one that
only
we
had,
couldn't quite place. That guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man, Mike.
So I just want to say that if we'd known that last session, I never would have climbed up and aggroed the baboon gargoyles.
Because there's definitely a correlation.
No? Okay.
Okay, so we are in media res with this. So you guys got the picture right. So very free of dust. It's obviously that this is some sort of no man's land or something like that. The battle has gone on here. The southern passageway, by the way, is also. Let me just check real quick. Is also barricaded as well, in the same manner as the eastern ones. Okay. And
Is that what you said? The southern one is? The southern one is?
Southern passageway.
With the wooden door and everything?
No, yes, correct, yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, that pile of green rocks that you got there, Ted, that is a cave-in. It looks like there used to be a passageway that used to extend south, but it's a completely caved in. And also remember, too, that you cannot see the ceiling, right? Like, Darius climbed up about, how far did he climb up?
Like 40 feet.
40 feet, yeah. So you were just out of the torchlight, right? So there is a torch that has been lit and is on the ground. Darius is in the midst of actually scurrying down the wall. This is exactly where we left it. Like you were moving down the wall, Darius, while Njal and Mort were going western into that quarter after having seen that there was a door there. They have not assessed that door in any sort of manner. They were actually hoping that it led out of the room, but they were short. They came up short against this door to the west, and that is the situation. So there are 6 gargoyles that have lofted into the air. They are all about 40 feet up. They are screeching. There's doom, 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 doom. You hear these drums in the east and like ready yourself, men, intruders. You kind of hear like sort of in pigeon Arcontian coming from the east as well. And I think at this moment we need to roll initiative. Although, does anyone want to cast spells? Do we have any spellcasters? Yes.
I
No.
would love to cast spells, but I don't have any.
We should totally do that. That's a great idea, Matt.
Okay, so let's do some dice rolling here, shall we?
Who's going?
Well, I believe you're the caller, Mike.
I got a 4.
That'd be me. I'll roll it first.
Do it, Mike.
4. Suck it, John.
Okay. I got a 1.
Ooh. Well
Yes.
done, Darius.
All right, you guys win. What do you do?
So am I on the floor or am I still on the wall?
You're literally in the midst of climbing down. You don't have to make a roll, but like your movement would be moving the rest of the way down the wall.
That would be phenomenal. Then I know what I'm doing. I'm done, guys.
Yeah. All right.
What do you think, Mort? Shall we open this door and get the hell out of here?
I think that at least attempting to open the door is the order of the day, sir.
Darius, do you want to
let's see.
pull out a weapon or something when you're done with your movement?
Yes, John. I'll pull out that spatha, which I don't actually know the stats for. It was the one that we found on the officer in the area, like right next to the trials room. The trials room. I don't know how to.
Yeah, it was
just
in
a second.
the east of that room.
It was the
And-
officers. He fought his own men or whatever and killed them all. And it was that.
Yeah, I remember when Varisios picked it up and gave it to you. It felt like he felt lighter on his feet or something like that, like a little more nimble.
Oh, really? I didn't know that part. I didn't catch that description.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I wrote down spatha, but I think we actually determined that it's a gladius, I think. Right?
I don't.
Yeah. Yes.
You know
Okay.
the one I'm talking about. Did you find it, John? We never got it identified.
I thought.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. I know what it is.
Okay. All right.
So I pull that out and I get to the floor, and that's it.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me.
Cool. And then you guys are going to look at the door.
Yeah. So, Matt, I guess does Niall have a shield?
Niall is carrying an extra shield, but he's not wielding one.
So what's his AC right now?
His AC is 16.
All right. You open the door. I'll block the way because mine's
I just-
19.
I just want to point out, too, as far as options go, that there's nothing preventing you from going through those ajar double doors as well.
Except that they are 30 feet away, 40 feet away, and the room is full of screaming gargoyles.
Yes.
Minor detail, I know, but
Okay, no, so you're
Probably
listening at the... Well, you can't listen at the door, right? We're in the midst of combat.
I mean, I guess I could tell if there was actively like scrabbling or something on the other side.
Yeah,
but
it would just be like passive hearing, in
Yeah.
the midst of this kind of horror that's descending upon you. So you did not hear anything beyond the door.
okay. Well, shit. I'm gonna try to open that door, see if it blows us up.
Okay. All right, so it does open up, and you can see beyond
thank the gods.
that there is a perfectly square chamber. It is 30 by 30. You are entering in directly on the middle of the eastern side of it.
30 by 30, middle of the eastern side. And we're using 10-foot squares here, right?
10-foot squares, yep.
Is this like that scene in A New Hope where we open the door and there are like 30 different gargoyles standing there ready to?
Unfortunately not. But there are 3 egresses out of here. There is a small door in the northwestern corner on the north wall. It's only about...
Northwestern corner, north wall. Okay.
Yeah. And there are 2 regular sized doors that are both ajar, one in the middle of the western wall and one in the southwest corner on the south wall. Both of those are ajar.
Middle of the western wall.
And one
Sorry,
on the one on the southwest.
South west
Mhm.
of the southern wall,
Correct.
you mean? Is that
Yes. Okay.
okay?
All right, so there is nothing in the room. It seems to be clear of dust or to try to assert anything like that. So it's a little bit weird because every room that you've been in had something in it. Okay. In addition, when you kind of peer through there, and y'all, you definitely get there's a quickening in your heart, in your what do you call it? Your heart rate, as you feel for some reason. Maybe it's just the fact that it's empty and you're not used to seeing things empty. Maybe it's just like the stress of what is approaching you from behind, but you feel a sense of dread and fear in the room, even though it's completely empty. There's plenty of exits.
Trust your instincts. Trust.
Okay, so your action basically, we are in combat. So y'all, your action was to open the door. You can still move if you like, and then of course Mort can do the same.
Well, to keep things honest in terms of sight, I don't have a torch. The only torch that we have
It's
is
on the
that
ground.
one on the ground.
Correct.
I don't know how far it is. Is it? Can I? Well, shoot! If I run out there and reach it, they're going to see me and definitely know. I guess they know we're in here already. But I guess I already did my action. I couldn't run over there, grab the torch, and come back.
Mort has torches.
Oh, you do?
I have torches. Just get in there. We'll close the door.
Oh, so we're going to go in the room of dread and terror.
I would rather go in the room of the unnamed dread than the named gargoyles.
Okay.
But they
We
have
don't have
names.
to. What's that?
They have names.
Yeah.
So are you?
Larry.
I'm sorry. Jasper, Marble.
Okay, so what's going on? Are you both moving into the room?
If Niall will move in, Mort will back in.
Yeah,
But he's keeping an eye on the gargoyles. He doesn't want to turn his
Okay,
back
are you
on
closing the door behind you?
No, because we're waiting for Darius to come in.
Okay,
Can we
so
make it look closed? So mostly.
Right.
when you step into the room, in a blinding instant, you see that before the effects take place, that something that was magically inscribed on the floor illuminates quickly and blindingly, in a circle. Like there's basically like a pentagram or an arcane symbol that basically like just comes right out of the floor, just like comes into light as you step onto the floor. And I need both of you guys to make me saving throws versus spells at a -1 penalty, please.
Oh.
Ouch. Okay, this is fine.
Okay. All right.
All right, my spell saving throw is a 14, so I have to roll
14 or
above a 15, right? Since I'm at a -1.
Yeah. Yep.
Here we go.
Unless you
We
have
got
a
this.
wisdom. Do you have a wisdom bonus?
Oh, look at that!
I got a 15
Okay.
-1, 14.
Okay. You
right.
made it, Mort.
Okay, I need to roll I guess an 11.
Wisdom bonuses count, is what I was going to say for this roll.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, so you both
Again.
said that's fantastic. Okay, so the thing illuminates, and what you feel coming through you is you thought it would be like an electric shock or something like that, but is just an intense amount of dread and fear, and your instinct is to run away as quickly as you possibly can to get out of the room. Get out of the room, but then you're able to like, no, it's danger in the other direction. We've got to stay, and so you kind of your mind kind of your iron will sort of comes down and clamps down on your mind, and you're able to maintain. All right, that was the round. Now, David. So let's see. Darius would be the only one. So Darius, you see the door to the eastern, the northeastern corridor, the northeastern passageway, bursts open. You would actually kind of hear it. I don't think you would see it because you're sort of down near the southwest there, and you see a hulking form, in a just a tunic, basically, come bursting through the door, and you hear following him through that door. You hear enraged shouts of what sounds like gruff, almost like oinking and squealing, like a where are you going? Where he's loose? Get him! And you see that dragging behind him, as he's kind of running through, is he's got manacles on his wrists that are dragging chains that appear to have been ripped apart. And he's just basically stumbles into the room, and you see the gargoyles that are floating in the air kind of like all like turn towards him as well. And you can hear behind him, no, the gargoyles are active. Don't go in there. Yes, but we need to sell him. No, I'm sorry, they don't say sell him. We need to bring him to the mother. Mother wants him. Well, what are we going to do? There's intruders in there as well. And you just kind of hear them kind of arguing. And this huge dude, like bigger than
Your
y'all.
mother be damned. Go back from that infertile womb from which you came.
And who
squealing pigs.
What is he, other than huge? Is there any other significant appearance things that you have for this guy?
He's about 6'6", legs like tree trunks. We're thinking an analog might be like a Dolph Lundgren or the leader Beowulf from the 13th Warrior, but rather than like fair-haired, though it's hard to tell, he's soot covered and his hair is jet black. Whether it's his hair color or it's just so matted with whatever, it is indeed jet black, and he comes bursting through. Do I have all my gear? I thought I had my gear on, but now it's... Oh, I don't. Okay, never mind.
You do not have your gear. You're basically naked, right? But not naked, but you have like a tunic on. Okay.
Sure. Do I have my necklace on? Do I at least have my necklace on? Is that a character thing or no?
Sure, you can have your necklace. That's fine.
I do have an irregular necklace of coins that have been sort of like punctured through and tethered around my neck as well. For what purpose?
My mom used to sell my milk.
For what purpose? Who knows? Who knows? What's that? Okay.
And we'll call that your character's actions for the round. Start of the turn. Who is anyone casting spells?
Oh wait, the gargoyles didn't go.
The gargoyles did not go. You're right. Thank you.
I mean, it's okay.
I mean,
You're-
here's where David gets eviscerated as he makes his entrance.
Love that I got to start with none of my gear, John. Thanks so much.
This is a low whimsy scenario here.
Aren't you glad you spent all that time rolling it up?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is that your guys, what's your guy's name, David?
Mouthful of chicken.
Muted, David.
Mouthful of chicken.
The minute I had a bite. Upior.
Upior.
Upior. Upior.
Okay, so you're going to be actually like still in
Or
the
Opior is the correct pronunciation. Sorry, Opior.
Opior. Okay, so Opior is going to be in the you're in that passageway just beyond the door, so you're not fully into the room. Okay, and they are going to come screeching down, not upon Upior, but upon Darius.
I'm invisible.
He's invisible.
You are invisible. That's right. By the way, I have that marked. 3 more turns on that. Okay. And the torch, by the way.
And then a whole nother use. And then a whole nother use, right?
Yes, then a whole nother use. That's correct. Yeah. Okay, you guys do not close. Okay, so they are going to they're going to fly down, and I think 3 are going to see what Opior is going to do. And then the other 3 are going to swoop down into the western corridor and attempt to attack Mort and Y'all.
All right, we're definitely barricading the.
In that,
Yeah, can
in
we
that room.
try
Because
to
as
keep
we
them?
went in, we were like, close. We didn't close it, but we're not letting them just open it to come in.
But it's open.
You know what I mean?
It's not latched. Let's put it
It
that
is
way.
not latched. We're looking out the door like a crack so we can wait for Darius, but we didn't close it.
Sorry, just to clarify, you are where the AV token is, or through the double
Yeah.
doors?
They are with the
Maybe.
AV.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe we didn't make that clear, but the point was we weren't just leaving it wide open. That'd be crazy. There's gargoyles after us, but we didn't want to like latch it shut and have Darius locked out there either. Like
Okay.
I was just thinking like Mort is there at the door,
I got it.
defending the door.
I got it. Okay, so they're going to post up at the entrance to that hallway leading into the room. So basically, Darius, you are. They kind of come down and they're about 5 feet off the ground, but they're hovering. Okay, and
Sure.
they're looking down that corridor and they're screeching madly, and they're like you can reach out and touch them if you wanted to. You're just to the north of them.
Assassinate them.
Okay.
They're not humanoids. We already established that.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, the other 3 are going to keep hovering about 40 feet up, and they're keeping an eye on Upior. All right, now, top of the round, are you going to cast spells, Upior?
No, I am not.
Okay.
Unless do I see any? I'm not going to cast this turn. But are there any like skeletons or corpses about this
Nope.
area?
There are not.
So, no, I
It
am
will be in
not.
a minute.
Okay.
I'm not casting.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, no one is in melee, so roll initiative. I got a 4.
It's quite a
I
pick.
got. Oh, I got a 3. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. I don't think it matters.
Okay.
He's screwed.
All right, so Opior has not moved yet, so they're going to hang out now. Through the doors, however, Opior, you kind of came to a halt edge. You're like, oh shit! Like we're like frying pan into the fire, right?
Yeah.
From all 3 of the doors, they all burst open. Okay, and you see a pile of beastmen actually rage through all the doors. Actually, they don't rage. They're actually very, very organized, and they emerge through the doors in good order. And how many did I say? There's going to be, a lot. So cautiously moving through the doors are 3 teams of 6 men each. Come, so there's 6 men come through each of the passageways, right? They are a mixture of pig-headed men, dog-headed men, and some sheep-headed men as well, but mostly pig and dog. And you see that there is one who is obviously the leader coming through the middle of through the middle corridor. Is a much taller than the other, is wearing more of like a imperial regalia. and has the head of a wolfhound, like an Irish wolfhound, like a really like shaggy, like dark gray and black, and he has a like a Praetorian helmet on, like a helmet with like a big fucking crest. You know what I mean? That and they're all wielding spears and shields and that whole thing, and they kind of come in good order, and they kind of look up, you know, and they get their spears ready to kind of chuck it at the gargoyles, and they're sort of looking, and the gargoyles are screeching at them as well, sizing them up, and the ones in the northern one basically plow right into Opior, and they're like, "There you are, back into the chains with you. We've got to take you to Mother."
Nay, I say.
That'll teach him.
And the ones in the south and the east, you see like the wolf captain or the staff sergeant or whatever it is like, where are the actually be more like it, be like, where are they? Where are the intruders?
Can I speak, John?
Yep.
Yeah. So Mort,
Well, I mean,
seeing these guys.
We're in that other room. I don't think that we see them.
I can't see Upior, but I can see 6 of them straight ahead of us because they came out of that southeastern corridor.
Are you peeking through the crack of the door?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I mean, I've been expecting these guys. Like, we knew there were beastmen on their side. This is not a surprise to me, them coming through. I was waiting for this.
Okay.
Because as soon as he sees them, Mort wants to be in his best Mortis J. Gobliano voice. Ave, brothers, Ave! I am in need. The legions. Send the legions to your brother.
Okay. They look taken aback by that. Upior, you can see that one of the beastmen legionnaires that kind of comes out on your end there is one that you've recognized from before, is carrying on his back what appears to be a pack with all of your crap sticking out of it. They kind of come up and like one kind of puts their hands up as they sort of listen. The staff sergeant basically, what's he do? The staff sergeant orders his men to where are we in initiative? I've lost the whole thread here.
We lost. We lost. You
This is
won.
your initiative, John.
This is why I asked if I could speak.
Yeah.
It's actually the gargoyles and I guess the beastmen.
Okay. So he puts up his hand and tells his men to halt, and he tells them to bring out their bows, and they quickly do that, and they knock their arrows. They can't actually attack this round. The gargoyles look a little bit dismayed, and but they have very high morale.
I would have assumed they had a very stony look about them.
Oh,
They do. Let's see. Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
While these gargoyles do their thing, I'm going to go tuck in that kid. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's see. I've lost the thread.
It's only on 18.
the door.
We're
Gargoyles are at a standstill. Staff sergeant is trying to decide what he's going to do.
Yeah.
They basically
Opior is
recapitulated.
free and flexing.
Yeah.
And Mort is calling out in Arcantian to his legionnaire brothers across the hall.
Okay. This might be a little bit too much of a hand wavy thing, but I just can't play it out. I didn't really think this through. So, do you guys have any desire at all to engage in combat with anybody here?
Oh, no.
Oh,
No, I'm running, baby.
No.
Okay. Then they are going to fight a pitched battle against the gargoyles, and I'm just going to say that they win because I don't really feel like rolling a die for it.
Beastman, go. Beastman, go.
Yeah.
Go, Beastman, go.
Sorry, it's a little bit Deus Ex Machina, but I just don't have it in me to draw all this out. So,
tell you what I'll do, John. At the end, like in Conan the Destroyer, I'll come out and I'll stab one of the dead gargoyles and stand over it.
okay. So,
I have a question though. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
All of my gear is on the staff sergeant. Does he die in this pitched battle, or is he alive? Is he alive and well?
are you still alive? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Are you guys
during this pitched battle? Go. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I make a run for it in the chaos?
Yeah, you certainly can. Yeah. Where do you want to go?
John, if David, maybe I can help here. If I see him as an escaped prisoner here, I'm going to run up to him and one of these turns that they're all fighting, John, and grab his arm invisibly and be like, you can't see me, but you look like one of us. Follow me. And I'm going to grab him by his manacle and I will drag him down to, if those gargoyles that were posted up at this corridor down here, if they leave to fight, then I'm going to drag him into the room with the rest of the guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Assuming he doesn't just whip me into a wall because he's like a beast.
Unhand me, Spectre! Throw you against Column.
I would literally, he could probably throw me up onto one of the gargoyle platforms.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Okay. Are you going to go with him, Upior?
I don't see that I have much of a choice. I was very curious about these double doors, but I think
I'm curious about those too. Those seem like the fastest way to.
I was tempted to just run for the double doors just to see what's behind them, but that seems convoluting. So why don't I just follow my boy?
Don't make this a four-way split, man.
Yeah, four-way split.
Okay, so you all drag yourselves into that square room. Do you close the door behind you?
Let's keep it open a crack.
Yeah, I want to keep it open so that Mort can continue to communicate with the Beastmen.
Okay, so as you all enter that room, let's see. Hold on a second. All right. I need everyone to make me another saving throw versus spells, but normal this time.
Oh, this is going to be amazing because I have
Everyone?
an AQ.
Oh, we have to make it again?
Yes. But just normal, not a -1.
Okay, I'm going to go first because I need a 17 or higher, John.
Ooh,
Okay.
that ain't it.
Yeah, that ain't it. That's a big old fail.
Okay. Everyone
right.
can roll. Just roll.
I made it. I got a 13.
I also failed with 4.
Or no, I got a 16. Sorry.
Confused. I think, what did I? Oh,
David
God.
got a 13.
I got a 13. Okay.
Yeah.
And my save versus spells is 15, so I did not make it.
Okay,
So everybody but Mort failed.
okay. So
Good old Mort.
for the three of you guys who failed, I don't know what your worst fear is for your character. You guys probably don't know either. But whatever that fear is manifests in front of you in that room, causing dread to seep through you and causing you to desire nothing more than to get the hell out of here. Once again, this is the fear itself actually manifests, and it looks different to each one of you as the thing that you actually fear. So spiders or losing your lost loved one or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. It actually manifests, and it is different than the arcane symbol, which basically flared once and then died down. Right? So it's something different, but it's also causing fear at the same time. It seems to be something sentient that is manifested and reads your mind and then projects that fear. And it's causing you guys to need to flee. So it doesn't mean like you're completely out of sorts. Like you understand that there is danger back east, possible danger back east, but you do need to choose one of the other three ways, and you need to get the hell out of that room.
I'm going north.
I like north too. And just for the record, John, my biggest fear is unidentified sticky substances.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
Okay.
I will
weird,
flee
dude.
the unidentified sticky substance and go to the door of the north.
See, this is really weird because my biggest fear is being trapped in a 30 by 30 room with 3 guys losing their shit.
I think what Njal sees is a disembodied, like giant disembodied, right hand.
The hand of Av.
The hand of Avaricius coming for him.
Okay, so
It is indeed my mother scolding me. That is who appears in the room in front of me.
okay, Darius, you bolt towards the northern door, and you're like, "Get me out of here! Get me out of here!" And you slam into a door which has obviously been jammed in some manner from the other side. So you there's like an audible crack as Darius slams headfirst into it. Upior and Njal, where do you guys want to go?
I mean, if I see him do that, I will
You
go.
won't see anything. I'm invisible. You'll just
That's
hear it.
true.
Oh, that's
I'll
true.
go
Yeah.
south. I'll go south then instead of north.
Yeah, I would go south too. I like the looks because I don't want to cross that hand. I can like skirt around it and go to the south. I'll do south.
Okay. Okay.
So I did never get a chance to light a torch, guys. Like we're in the dark, basically.
Oh,
All right.
just like feeling around. Or did it flare with light, John? Can we see from the?
I would say like the flare of the symbol would allow you to kind of orient like where the doors are, but now you are in complete darkness. So you can get through the doors, but you are in total darkness.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you run through that door headlong into the darkness, you have no idea what you're entering into. But as you come to, let's see, you're running as fast as you possibly can, and you can't see anything. So you run for about 30 feet, and then you slam into a wall and bounce off of it. And you're like, what the fuck? Where are we? What's going on? And you can hear off to the east, approximately about 20 feet to the east, you can hear what sounds to be like a burbling fountain. Okay? Like a
All right.
Okay. And
does Mort have an action here, or?
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Darius. So you can't see Darius, but you heard him slam into that door, Mort, but you have been able to quell your fear. Now you saw it, whatever your fear is, Mort, but you were not affected by it. Okay.
Goblin women.
Professor Snape. Yeah, so Mort is going to yeah, he's not running off like a lunatic. He's staying his ground. He's going to close the door and take off his pack and get out a torch and light it.
Okay.
So he's going to stay where he is and get that torch going so that he can follow and not trip over things and fall into pits and whatnot.
Okay. So you are still confronted with your greatest fear is kind of standing in front of you, and it's whatever it is sort of reaching out towards you as well, causing your heart to quiver.
He's not looking at it. He's been paying no attention. He's remembering his military training. Stay cool under fire, get the torch out, get it lit.
Okay. You can hear the sounds of battle from the east, just so you know. And that is the end of the round, right? I believe.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. We've all kind of done something now.
Okay. Top of the round. Upi, are you casting spells?
Nope.
Okay. Actually, you guys can do nothing. Anyone who failed to save can do nothing except attempt to get as far away from the source of their greatest fear as possible. So that leaves only Mort being able to voluntarily do whatever he wants. Please roll for initiative.
Go ahead, Matt.
I really thought this was an imaginary figure.
Okay,
Well done, Matt.
You guys won. I got a 3. You guys got a 6. Okay, so those of you guys who are feared, you are in total. Well, you see a little bit of light coming through the door to the north that you kind of came through. Right.
Because the torch just got lit.
Yeah, Darius,
Well,
you are still invisible, but now you can kind of see the room. And Darius, you must try to choose either the western or the southern door to get the hell out of here. Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just assumed that when I bounced off that door, I was following them. So I will go through the southern door where they went, John.
Okay. So you run as fast as you can. So there's 3 of you now in that room. I would say that from the torchlight, which is barely kind of peeking through that slightly ajar, well, it's kind of a lot more open now. I would say that you can see that there is a 10-foot wide passageway heading directly south. And I'd say that's pretty much it. You are not in that 10-foot wide passageway. You are further into a room that you can't quite tell. Although you did bounce against a wall 20 more feet to the south. So you guys are probably all kind of in front of that wall.
Wait. Oh, geez. This thing's giving me agita here.
Guys,
So
why don't you move your
10-foot
curses away so they can work?
No, that's not what it is. It's the weird little effect. So the corridor they ran through was only 10 feet long as well as 10 feet wide?
Yeah, 10 feet wide, 10 feet long. And then 20 feet after that, they hit a wall.
Yeah, the wall. That wall I have marked.
Yeah, and then you heard a fountain, generally 20 feet to the east, but can't pinpoint exactly where.
Okay. All right. So, Darius runs south.
Mm-hmm.
On the last turn, right?
Are Upior and Avaricius now
Or
paralyzed
Njal.
with fear at that wall? Oh, sorry, yeah, not Niall. Like they're paralyzed there. Or they have to start moving east or west or something.
You're basically compelled to try to escape as fast as you can. So your natural instinct would be to attempt to move around the perimeter and try to find some other means of egress.
How long do we have to wait before Mort can catch up to us with that torch?
I don't know.
He'll be coming in this. Like, can we wait until he? Because it's all kind of happening simultaneously. Like, if he comes in and then we start to move, we'll be able to see.
Well, you guys can determine amongst yourselves who goes first, right? So
Yeah.
if you want to,
I vote for Mort to go first with the torch.
All right. So the three of them are comedically scrabbling against each other and tripping over the naked guy and the invisible guy. And Mort casually will stroll past whatever it is he fears and enter that 10-foot wide corridor.
okay. So
Right.
I will say that it
Actually,
wasn't
to
in
the door, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
Sorry, what?
I think he can only get to the door. He has a 30-foot movement, so he gets just to the door.
Okay, yeah. All right. So I will say that the thing was not in melee with you, so obviously you were able to kind of avoid it and move to the door.
There's actually a thing. It's not just a vision.
No, it's a thing.
Oh, I was afraid of that. That's a totally different story. Okay.
Do you still want to do the same thing?
Yeah, I got to get out of here, clearly.
Okay. All right. So you got the torch in hand. I will say that it does illuminate southwards through the door. So what you're seeing here is that 10-foot wide passageway. Then it opens up into a square chamber that is 20 by 20. And the passageway enters into that room from the northwestern section on the northern wall. Okay.
Okay, so this wall goes straight down like that.
Yep, exactly. And it's just 20 by 20 square. There is a fountain directly in the middle of the eastern wall. And there is a very small door in the southwestern part of the room that's on the western wall. Let's see.
A door where?
The southwestern wall on the west.
South.
In the southwest on the western wall.
Right by our marker thing?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, right there. And then a little fountainy job, you said?
On the eastern wall. Right in the middle.
Like right there?
Yeah.
Oops, that is weird.
All right. As the light kind of enters through there, you can see that there is cool water that is flowing from a 4-foot tall bronze spigot, which has been carved to look like an upright cod. So the water's coming out of the fish's mouth. And there is a basin that appears to be filled with water. You do not see, strangely enough, any source of plumbing at all. It is built into the room. It is built into the wall, however, so who knows? And there does not appear to be anything else in the room except for that water. And all of you guys have taken your action, right? Okay. So when Mort backs up against that thing and shines a light there, you can now see that door. So you're basically all compelled to go through that door if you possibly can.
Yeah. Is it open or like examining the door? How can we open it? Is there a handle? Is it just boards? What does it look like?
Yeah, it's small, but it is wooden with iron bands and appears to be openable.
Okay. I'll try to open it.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'll try to open that door.
Okay, so it opens up, and it opens up into a narrow 5-foot wide passageway that leads directly west. However, you see nothing but darkness beyond because the torchlight doesn't reach there, but you must go through there.
All right, I'll go through and like feeling, carefully as I can, like put one foot ahead so I don't fall into a hole or something.
Unfortunately,
as I go.
you can't be careful because
Then
you were overcome with fear. Yeah.
Then I just bolt right in there, go as far as I can.
Okay. So everyone who has failed their saving throws must move into there. You, because you are frightened of what is behind you, you do have the presence of mind that you could shut that door behind you, but you can make that choice. Would you like to do that?
Poor Mort.
No,
Guys.
well, I know that these two are right behind me, so I'm not going to close it on them.
Well, I'm just asking, like, whoever's the last one in.
Let's leave it open.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. No, shut it.
Okay. Sure.
Shut it.
Yeah, I don't want that sticky substance coming to get me. Come on.
Okay.
Scary
So,
hand.
You guys shut the door, and you guys are running as fast as you can. I'd say with your movements that you can probably reach the end of this. So after 30 feet in total darkness, you all slam into each other because the first person, that would be Njal, slams into a wall. Not only a wall, but actually another small door that looks pretty much identical to the one that you just came through.
God damn it.
Okay, but you are now, because you shut the door, all three of you are in total darkness. You are all human. So you're
OPR is going to grasp at the hinge at this door and rip it as hard as he can.
yeah, you can do that because all you did was move. So yeah, you rip open the door, and let's see.
Dragon.
Okay.
Big money, no whammies.
We're just climbing through this tunnel like a bunch of naked mole rats.
All right.
Okay, TPK.
You open the door, and as you what?
You're yeah. You said TPK, and you said yeah.
Yeah.
As you do so, you open up into a chamber that appears to be lit rather well from a number of different sort of fire sources, like a lantern and torches and stuff like that, that are being held by a lot of goblins. Feckin' would be the word.
Oh.
So they are all huddling and appear to be a bit put out. There are 20 of them. Okay.
Ooh-wee.
They are sort of idling a little bit, like they're sort of like reclining or sort of lazily sort of watching. Well, actually, most of them probably heard what's going on from the east, so they're kind of at the ready. They do have, so they wouldn't be idling. They would actually be sort of up and ready and looking nervously towards the east, and then and sort of jumping back as you burst through the door. This huge fucking guy kind of runs through the door, and they all have military picks. And then you see, let's see. Oh no, I'm sorry. Are there 20? No, wait. I'm sorry. I got the number wrong here.
200.
12. There are 12. I'm sorry. There are 12. So
John, I'm gonna sorry, go ahead.
There are 12. There are 10 of them appear to be weaponless. One of them, who obviously appears to be their chief, is carrying a military pick, and then there's another one that is actually dressed in sort of raggedy robes that is carrying a spear in one hand, but has one hand up and is sort of like making arcane gestures with it at the same time, kind of pointed towards the east. And they look scared and frightened and malnourished. Yeah. And they've set up sort of like a rudimentary camp here a little bit.
John, when I burst through the door and I see them, I'm going to say, run, littlekin, run! An army of beastmen and my mother are on their way! To get out of here! And I'm going to just keep running, but like, while I'm saying that, right? Like, so I'm not running like I'm charging them, I'm running like I'm like, get out of the way, come with us, right?
Okay.
This is the room full of stormtroopers.
It is, yeah.
Just little green stormtroopers.
In other words, I don't want to hesitate at all. I want to take the moment of surprise, and I want to say the first thing I'm saying to like put that on their brain before they have much time to process and react.
Right.
And I just want to keep plowing through the nearest door that I see, if I see one.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So you're moving at like 40. So you would have to be. You could say that, I would say, and then you're kind of in the midst of the room, and then that would be the end of the top of the round. So at the bottom, Mort, you already did your action.
I guess Mort moved to.
Yeah, you moved.
Right. Okay, never mind. Yeah, Mort moved to the door. They saw the light. They used the light to run through the door. Okay, right. I'm sorry.
Right. Okay. Okay. So.
That's a fine pickle we've gotten you into, John.
Yeah. Where am I here? All right. So, Mort, Did you determine what your fear was? Have you said what your fear is?
Oh,
You don't have to decide. I don't really care.
I mean, yeah, I think probably Mort's greatest fear is probably four-armed baboons, to be honest.
Four-armed baboons. Okay, a four-armed baboon.
Rough choice.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Reaches out towards you.
I know what they do to little goblins. It ain't pretty.
What is your AC without armor?
Without armor?
Yep.
Does that include also not a magic shield?
Yes. It's basically your dex.
Well,
It doesn't matter. I rolled a 1. Okay, so
good job, John. Well done.
Way to disseminate, Ted, until it didn't matter.
okay, so it reaches towards you, and you had the presence of mind because you're not afraid, Mort, to kind of dodge out of the way. You're like, that doesn't look good. Four baboons are meant to be avoided, and you duck underneath its sweeping claws.
All right.
And that is the bottom of the round. And I think this would actually be, I'm sorry it's in the middle of combat, but I think it'd be an appropriate place to take a quick break.
Do it.
So
anyway.
we will be right back. Okay, we're back. Bladder's empty, beer's full, and we are in the midst of combat. I believe we ended a round, right? So top of the round, Mort, you are in melee. Would you like to declare melee movement?
Yeah, since I'm holding a shield in one hand and a torch in the other, I'm not really in a position to fight this guy. So I'm going to defensively retreat into the bronze spigot room.
Do you plan to close the door?
If I can manage it with one hand, I guess I could just drop the torch to try and close the door. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And excuse me, do you want to declare a spell casting?
No.
What is your spell that you memorized, by the way?
Skull talk.
What is it?
Skull talk?
Skull talk.
Skull talk. You
Cool.
know.
Like a talk show.
Skull speech, rather.
Yeah, real quick for the audience.
Sounds like
so
a
that you know,
Shadowfell game show.
I have 4 spells. I have Read Magic, which I started with. I have Decay. I have Detect Undead, and I have Skull Speech.
Okay, so real quick, David is playing the Necromancer, which is a Gavin Norman created class that is freely available on the Necrotic Gnome website. If you want to get a gander at what that class has to offer, you can. It's a free download, so feel free to give it a look-see. All right. In the meantime, no spells, but we are declaring movement, and we're rolling dice. Here we go.
It's David's turn to roll initiative.
I got a 5.
Yeah, good, David.
Come on, David, you can beat it.
Come on,
Hey!
baby. 5.
5 and 5. Roll again. I got a 4.
What happened? Oh.
Okay.
Black dice of necromancy failed you.
Mort, before you can move through the door, the four-armed baboon attacks you again.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your AC? Never mind. Let me just roll first and see if it's even worth it.
Okay.
Yes, it might be worth it. So,
if my armor and magic shield don't count, my dex is a 12.
A 12. Okay, so it hits you.
Crap.
I need you to make me a save versus petrification, please.
Oh, no.
Is it a modified roll at all?
No, it's not modified.
Okay. All right. So I need an 8.
Goblins,
So
man.
I will roll a d20, and I swear to God, a 17. I believe, John.
Okay.
We'll take care of that.
So
Gabriano.
you instinctively cringe from the blows of the forearm baboon, and you can feel yourself freezing up, like, oh my God, here comes my death. But you manage to shake it off as you realize that the thing is as the arm sort of passed through you as you're like cringing, you're like, what the, and you're like, wait a second, what the heck was that? Yeah, and it still seems to be there though, and it looks very, very real. But it doesn't manage to affect you. And you still hear fighting from the east as well. They seem to be gaining the upper hand against the gargoyles who are screaming in the east. Meanwhile, the rest of you, it's up to you guys. Mort, do you want to resolve your thing first on your side?
All I need to do is take a step back, close the door, and start following those guys. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Assuming it doesn't follow me like through the door.
Oh, shoot. I forgot a goddamn door that you could have gone through.
Whoops. That's all right. We didn't go through it. Let's go.
All right. Well, Ted, there is an ajar door that is on the western wall.
Yeah, I have it.
No, you
I
don't.
mean, down here.
In the other room. That is on the after 10 feet. There is a door that is ajar on the western wall.
But John, we wouldn't have gone through that anyway because we would have had to come back to it to get. We would have had to get closer to the source of our fear to get there anyway. We rushed past it blindly and just hit the far wall. So
Yeah, fair enough.
So is it right there, John? Where I just put
but
that
it's ajar. It's open.
Okay. All right. Well, suffice it to say, I step into the narrow corridor. I drop the torch. I close the door. I pick my torch back up, and I'm done.
Okay.
Go on to
cool.
these guys.
All right. So you have freedom of choice though. So just be aware that there is that ajar door. Okay. The rest of you.
Could he move farther? Could he move farther away there? Does he still have movement left, or is he stuck there at the door?
I'm just going to solve our problem by not moving anymore right now.
Okay.
You just go on to you guys.
Okay. All right. So so you guys have barreled into this room. I guess following Upior's lead. The goblins are beside themselves, basically, as you kind of run through. And okay, what did you say, David? Again?
My mother is after me.
To paraphrase, run, little Ken. There is an army of beastmen on our tail, and my mother. We must get away.
Okay, so you hear like beastmen. No, it can't be.
Oh yeah, little guys, they're that way. Yeah, don't you worry about us. We're friends. We're friends of the goblin folk. We got one coming behind us. Just a minute, he'll pop through that door. You guys friend with a fellow named Bottleneck? We've been looking for him.
I don't mean to stamp on you. You casually having conversation with the goblins, but you were absolutely terrified and are running pell-mell.
Okay. I say that in my brain, but it comes out as and I'm just running.
Yeah, I apologize. You guys are a bit kind of compelled. You know what I mean? This would be like one of those situations where I'd be like, give me your character sheets because you're no longer yourselves, right? You're just like you're moving as fast as you possibly can. So as you kind of barrel through and into the goblins, Upior is like the way that he talked would be like appropriate for being scared as shit, right? So they react to that and they're like, what? They're sort of like, they don't have the presence of mind to like really attack you. They also seem to be, there's like a sign of like recognition in the fear that's all in all of your faces. Okay, so they, but they're all discombobulated and they're like grabbing their weapons and they're turning all around. They're looking at their chief to see like what they should be doing. The spellcaster seems to like slowly raises their hand down and kind of is looking over your shoulders, like back the way you came, a little bit worried. But meanwhile, you guys need to get the heck out of there. So because of their own lights, you can get the dimensions of the room. So you are in a 30-foot east to west room. By 40 feet north to south room. Okay. And you are entering in on the eastern wall in the northeastern corner.
Like right at the corner?
Not right at the corner, but like, because it's a 5-foot wide corridor, you're on the southern half of one of those squares.
Right. Okay. And 40
feet north to south.
North to south, right?
Yes. There are doors that are all closed. There is one on the north wall on the western end. There is
one on the north wall.
Western end.
Western end.
There is a door on the western wall that is 20 feet up from the southern wall. Okay. And there is a door to the east, which is on the eastern wall in the southeast corner. Okay. So there are some food supplies here. There are like bedrolls and there are lanterns and things like that sort of hang out. Kind of stinks a little bit. And yeah. That appears to be That appears to be the deal. So you guys are still kind of compelled to run as fast as you can, but you can choose any one of those 3 exits.
Guys, I vote. Let's try the north door because we've seen several corridors that go north, or that would go to that area. You know what I'm saying? And John, as I'm running through, knowing that I can't see in the dark, and being afraid of the dark and like sticky things, can I grab one of their torches as I run?
Sure.
Okay.
So everyone's moving through the northern door?
I think that I would like to go to the northern door, but I will bow to peer pressure. As
And we say,
always.
which way? Which way's the way out? Which way?
They, let's see. Okay.
Here's my. Okay, yeah.
Give me a sec.
Here's what I would say, just to pitch an alternate thought. If I am like running away from my most feared thing, I'm gonna probably take like a diagonal, right, in my mind's eye. So I would probably do the southeastern door rather than the northern door. But
unless there's a bunch of
sound
dudes
good to me.
between you, unless there's a bunch of dudes between you and that door.
Oh, it doesn't perturb me at all.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you would take the clearest and fastest path, right?
Yeah, the closest door is that north one. It's the obvious choice, I think.
Yeah,
And
my
there's probably less
concern with the
dudes.
north door is it's going back sort of in the direction I just came from, right?
So, okay, so y'all, when you kind of shout out like, how do we get out of here? And you guys are all sort of heading toward the north door, following Darius's lead initially. They scream out, like, actually, we'll say it's like the spellcaster. The spellcaster, we'll say it's a she. She's like, no, not there, not there.
Okay, we'll definitely
I
do it.
told you, they go to the southeastern door.
the chief like quells his people a little bit. He's like, shh, and he's looking frantic. Like he looks like your fear has sort of like rippled amongst all the goblins as well. And they're like, no, not the west either. The west leads nowhere. There, and they say it's dangerous, but there to the east. We're
right.
And they're like, you're not going to make it. You're trapped here just like us.
Jesus Christ.
Little known fact about goblins, guys. If you
Just-
get them scared enough, they start to drop pellets.
No, just stay here. Stay here. Don't run. Don't run. We have some food. But you're compelled. You can't. You have to
Still.
run.
At least
Damn,
we
how
can.
many
if we-
rounds does this fear last? This is
Yeah, we
wild.
don't know. And no additional saves, right?
No additional saves.
Okay, so I guess just y'all would run south. I mean, he would still be in the room because he can't run that far, but like that 30 feet south, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I would
Okay.
obviously follow them.
Yeah, you still can
I
go.
say,
You don't have to obey them. You can go wherever you want, but you must leave the room.
Can I say,
All right.
does anyone have a spare weapon? I'm naked.
So, and you see them like looking fearfully, and as you're running around, and one of them actually like kicks one of his short swords towards you.
Oh, what a champ. I'm going to
love
remember
the
this
goblins,
guy.
man.
I'm going to remember this forever. Upior does not forget.
They say they're like the creature is stalking them. It's going to follow them through. They're going to find us in here as well. And the chief's like, no, the doors are shut. It's not going to come in. We've been here this long. They're
No.
they're going to die anyways. Just let them go. Let them go. We can't risk ourselves. We'll find another way. Let's just wait. As you guys are like, running through the. He looks like kind of angry at the one that kind of kicked your sword towards him, but they let it go because they're not moving.
We're still screwed.
Yeah.
John,
Maybe.
would I have the peace of mind? Y'all is carrying an extra shield. Can he toss that to what's your name?
Upior.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, here,
Why
take
didn't you just play a
this.
fighter, David. You should have just played a fighter.
Who says I'm not? Mike,
Yeah.
who says I'm not?
Okay, so who's the first through the door?
I don't think we had
I was in the lead originally.
Okay, so Upior, what I'm going to say is like you're able to open the door, and everyone sort of plows on behind you. So you're all sort of you can step through if you want to, Upior, into the next room. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
the rest of you guys are at that door. It is open at the end of your movement. You find yourself, Upior, in a very small 10-foot by 10-foot room. There's a door directly in front of you to the east, and there is a much smaller door immediately to your right to the south. Okay, but you can't move through them because you're at the end of your movement. Okay? Understand?
Yep.
I do.
Okay. Mort, did you do anything this round?
Well, I think this was the round that I stepped into the room and closed the door and picked up my torch.
Gotcha. And did you guys win? No, you lost, right? No.
Right.
We lost.
You lost.
We lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you withdraw back in and you close that door behind you. And you can hear your baboon enemy basically, bellowing in the other room. And that is the end of the round. So top of the round, you are out of combat.
Right.
Yay.
Okay, so it does not appear that the fear thing either
follow me.
is unwilling or cannot pass through that door. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
So having picked up his I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
so a turn goes by from combat.
Right.
So we have played more than an hour and a single turn has passed. Good times.
That is role playing.
That's the A team for you, baby.
Yeah,
there
for
you
one
go.
of 3 teams.
Listen.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is that you guys can all. Well, actually, we'll keep going here. You're still on the effect of the fear, except for Mort. Mort, you are. Where are you?
I
He's in
am
this bigger
in
room.
front of the ajar door.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So you're still not aware that there's anything going on.
We're fully bailing.
I mean, I am in Arden Vul, where there is always something going on. So
Okay. So the rest of you guys have to keep moving. South.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Opior will go south. Again, just kicking the door open. No delicacy here. Delicacy? No. What am I
Subtlety?
trying to say? Subtlety.
Okay.
You
All
got
right,
that shield, right, David?
I do have the shield and the short sword. I might put it through someone's neck who's very friendly, but if they're in my way,
then you'll have a skull to talk to.
Well, exactly.
Why did you kill me? That was the dick move, bro.
One of these days, I had to go back and get my spell book. Funny how I just started a new character who's a caster, and I don't have a spell book from the start.
Yeah, that was a bad call on my part.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. We'll go back. Listen, I will get every single one of these guys killed for that spell book, as history has proven.
I need to take a quick break to read something, so we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I just had to read a little thing there, and it's a little bit complicated. So that gives me the excuse to basically say that another turn passes as you move through that door, and at that point, the fear effects recedes. So as the rest of the party is through that southern door, what I will say is that Darius has the torch. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. At that point, Darius, it was just like the light was emanating, but the actual source was invisible. But then, as you move through the door, you also become visible.
Boo.
I can imagine how those goblins freaked out at one of their torches just vanishing, but the light was still there.
Yeah,
When
that's
Darius appears, I take a swing at him with my short sword.
Oh, great.
No.
Okay, and then Mort is all the way back, has basically been separated from the party.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
And it is at that point where we're going to switch POVs. So,
What?
do you have?
Perfect. I love it. It's
I'll leave it up. I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to do B team or C team?
Which one's B?
DT.
He is Avaricios back at the Broken Head.
You want to do Broken Head or do you want to do Dungeon?
I want to do Broken Head because I want to know what Content is up to. I gotta know
B
where
team.
I want it at.
B team.
Okay.
B team.
Alphabetical.
Okay, so going to B team, B team is Avaricios and a bunch of new people. So let's switch over the names here.
Oh, you got to go around the horn, John.
Oh yeah, so my name's John. I'm the referee for the evening.
Hi, I'm Mike. I'm playing Brother Lothar of the Hill People. I am a first level cleric of Odin.
Are we doing this? Okay. Hi, I'm David. I'm playing Holden the Mage.
I am Matt. I play Avaricios, the left hand of Lycion, and enjoying my safety back at the Broken Head.
I am Ted, and I am playing Titus Valerius, who art a half-elf.
Okay, cool. So that's who we got right now. It is on this timeline. It's still the 3rd of Genlenios, but it is 10:20 a.m. is where we're picking up with the B team. All right, so the B team has just walked into the inn. They met Samantha. Samantha the Red is happy to see Avaricios, introduces herself to the rest of the party members, and is has told you that she has a little bit of worries about Codswallop, who she saw talking secretively with Bergdorf, who was the captain of the Wine-Dark cohort, or the contingent of the Wine-Dark cohort that is currently here. You notice too that the levels of paranoia have basically dropped down a little bit. Everything sort of seems relatively back to normal. The Five Fingers are nowhere to be found. The cohorts themselves seem to be kind of packing up, right? That's the impression that you're generally getting. There is a general sense that you kind of pick up on as you're sort of eating dinner with Samantha and kind of catching up and all that kind of stuff, that the presence of the goblins having locked down the main entrance to the pyramid, the main entrance to the dungeons, which is the pyramid, has caused a bit of dismay amongst the people here whose livelihood depends on the constant flow of treasure coming out of Arden Vul. Okay, so like the statue brokers are pretty dismayed about it. A lot of the merchants are, and then there's none present right now other than you, but adventurers who have come and gone over the past couple of days have also expressed dismay, because that is where the vast majority of adventurers enter in, and now the goblins are basically preventing any sort of entrance. The interesting, okay, so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they probably wouldn't have told you that. Let's see. So Sam tells you as you're sitting down and enjoying your repast that she has told you. She tells you that Codswallop has basically, in the past couple of days, they've been doing their duties. They've been guarding the stash in the room and all that kind of stuff and doing their thing. However, Sam was happy to do it. Not a big deal. It's pretty easy work. And she's happy to be paid for it. Cods, however, was constantly complaining the entire time about the boring nature of the work. He also hinted many times to Samantha about being severely underpaid compared to what he called the vast wealth that the AV Club actually has access to. And she noticed that he started to hang out more and more over the past couple of days with Wine-Dark mercs. Like he was shirking his guard duties, basically drinking with the Wine-Dark mercs down in the common room at the expense of his guard duties. And he's also spending a lot more time with Kronos as well. So Sam, being the sole person who was guarding the stash, felt pretty vulnerable. So she used some of her own money to hire a messenger to go back down to Gosterwick and bring up one of her old friends who she knows is relatively reliable. And that friend's name is Holden. And so Holden has just recently arrived, and she introduces him as he's sitting at the bar. And do you have any description for Holden, David, or no?
As another arcane individual with an incredibly high strength, I would say. Rather than whisking Mike, I love the Mike response. He's thirsty. I think Holden has a okay. Take Merlin from Excalibur, like a short hair, cleft, clean cut, but add 20 pounds of muscle. That's what I would say. So doesn't have the height of my other character, but is similarly muscular and strange. Although my final note will be because of his 6 intelligence, Holden did not come from a prestigious family. He is salt of the earth, much like longtime viewers might imagine Snell to be. So I think Holden is a much more, if I'm making this very long-winded, if the mage class is modeled after Gandalf, what if Gandalf was an Appalachian moonshiner? That's what I'm trying to say. That will be the most evocative, I think, actually. Appalachian moonshiner Gandalf,
Okay. Cool.
How do you feel about government taxes, Holden?
Yeah. I don't know. Listen. If I had ever met another Southern warrior of types like Njal, I might get along with him very well, but I have not.
Right.
Okay, so Holden basically owed Sam a favor after she saved his butt back in the past, and so when the call came that Sam was looking for some help up in Arden Vul, you were like, sure, why not? I owe her one, so she's just like a buddy of yours from the past. So up you went, so you've been briefed on everything that's basically going on, and so she tells you that the Five Fingers were amongst the adventurers that were very disgruntled when they heard that the main pyramid entrance was shut off, and so they have left. They actually left earlier this morning somewhere. Now, as you guys are eating, you notice that Kronos and Estelle are just kind of doing their work, but you notice that Estelle, for whatever reason, seems to be like behind the bar. The main spot where you kind of do service, and doesn't ever seem to leave. Like she's sort of watching out of the corner of her eye and kind of doing work, but from past experience that Estelle sort of like used to flutter around and do a whole bunch of different things, and she seems to be just sort of sitting at the bar and sort of watching you guys converse.
Well, we've never had a negative relationship with her. Necessarily, like we've been cordial. Mm-hmm. She's helped clean a few wounds of ours now and then, so definitely we'll want to approach her soon. But I would have a few more questions for Sam. So you would say, when exactly did Codswallop leave? Was it just this morning? Did he leave yesterday? When was the time you say?
Cods, let's see. I saw him yesterday, but he was talking with Kronos and Estelle, and of course he didn't show up for his shift at nighttime to watch the stash. And I apologize. I do have to get sleep, so there is some time when the stash is not being watched.
No. Oh, that's that's understandable. Well, you brought help. I see. This is good.
But when I woke up, he wasn't there, so I have not seen him yet today.
So either early this morning, he could have left early this morning, or late last night, anytime.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know what he plans to do, though. He was very disgruntled, though. I don't think you can count on him anymore. But I don't know what he plans to do. He kept on hinting at these vast riches, and I'm like, that's the first I've heard of it. Do you guys have news about vast riches that I should be aware of?
Well, we have been very successful, and this is part of the profit-sharing plan that, is in the packet that HR should be giving to you shortly. If they haven't yet, then, that's on them. But
she gets 2 gold pieces a day and a half share.
Yes, I can tell you. I mean, the walls have ears, of course, but yes, we have been very successful, and your deal that you have for a half share is going to be very lucrative for you. Do not worry about this.
Well, that's good to hear. So I don't know why Codswallop was being so secretive about it. If this is something that you attained before you left on your last delve, I kind of wish that you had told me.
Well, things were happening very quickly. We had a lot on our minds, and plus we didn't want too much of this to get out. Obviously, our it seems like our faith in some degree was misplaced in our friend Codswell.
Well, I'm glad that you arrived when you did, because I really do feel. I mean, now that Holden's here, if you want him to watch as well, that's fine. But I do feel that the stash is vulnerable. I do not feel that we have enough manpower to secure it, and I do think that. I mean, I hate to say the worst of a member of the AV club, but I kind of feel that Cods might be is planning something against the stash in the room. So I would keep your eyes on it. You might want to move it. I just don't know. And but then I don't. I mean, he's been talking to Bergdorf. I don't. And the rest of the Wyandotte Mercs, are they going to make a move? My life could be in danger. Your life could be in danger. But perhaps now that there's more of you, maybe that will deter them.
Yes, and he's not having this conversation in private, by the way. Like, he's including our new friends here, and
sure. And to be clear too, she seems to be referencing only the stash in the room.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
She doesn't know about the 80 grand in the gladiator school, but Cods
does. Yes.
Correct.
And that's probably where he's going right now. I'll put my arm around, and we're talking to Sam right now. Yes. I'll put my arm around Avaricios and say, "Your name was Averso." Yes, Averso.
That's close. It's Avaricios, left hand of Legion. It's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal. I see. I know the kind like you. A lot of names, a lot of accomplishments, of course. Sam, left hand. You want for me to wallop a man? Because I'm here to wallop if I need to. Sounds like this year Cod's wallop needs one of his own, and if you've got something hidden, he may be on his way as we speak. So, and I'll bring out my staff, my mage's staff, and I'll kind of pat it against my hand a little bit and say, if I need to bring the old, divine intervention, I can.
Okay, so as you mentioned
now
that,
I'm confused. Are you a cleric? I don't know.
No, I'm an idiot. There's a difference. I'm an
idiot.
Are we going with the idea that Wiskins all have Southern accents? Is that what we're doing right now?
No, this is not a Wiskin. I'm a Thorson.
Okay.
No.
From outside far to the east, you hear voices call out. Male voices. They shout out, "Troops incoming! Troops incoming!" And you see Kronos and Estelle sort of look around a little bit as a little bit confusion, and then they sort of like share a look like they kind of know what's going on, and they rush outside the door.
Now follow.
Can I ask you a question?
I think we should go out and see what's going on. Yeah.
Right before we do that, can I ask one question? Is there anyone else in the inn other than Kronos and Estelle and us?
Yeah, it's not packed, but there's a bunch of people.
Normies,
yeah. Well, relatively. I mean, they're all like,
the statue guys and the, probably
there's
like
merchants and peddlers. There's a couple knights. Yeah.
Anyone that I could think like faintly was affiliated with Codswall?
No, but there are Wyandotte Mercs that are floating around that that he's been talking to. He's also been talking to Kronos and Estelle. Yeah. You do not see Bergdorf, for one thing. Yeah. And the Mercs are not like idling. They're sort of like busy sort of packing up their gears and their rucks and stuff like that, and getting ready to go. However, when they too also brighten up and leave the door following Kronos and Estelle.
Yeah, I also want to go out and see what's going on.
Can I interrupt one of the Mercs before they do so, or is that impossible to do, John?
No, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. I don't know how I'm going to play this out, but I want to interact with one of the Mercs. Do we want to see what's happening outside simultaneous to me interacting inside with the Merc?
Do your thing.
Just do your thing. Just do it.
Okay, I'm gonna say, "Oh, you look like a hardy fella," and I'm gonna kind of like guide, if I can, one of the Mercs to have a chat with me before he goes outside.
No time, friend. The other troops are arriving.
Of course, but I have to ask you one thing because I believe we may know each other.
He's like walking towards the door and he's sort of looking at you and kind of giving you the buff. Like, I don't know you.
Okay. I'm gonna say, I assure you, you do. I'm gonna say, and in fact, I think we know each other so well that I have a suggestion for you.
Oh boy.
Could
Out
you,
with it,
could
you weirdo.
Could you tell me, my friend? Could you tell me, what's the chatter about our dear friend Codswallop? I know he's been talking to you and your friends, and I'm going to literally use suggestion, the mage power, on him.
Oh, okay.
And I want him to communicate to me the information he's gotten from them.
Okay.
I have maxed out suggestion.
Nice.
It's a 5 and 6.
Okay.
I can read how it works if you'd like.
I got it here. Go ahead and roll the die. Okay.
Success.
Successful. Let's see. You're level 1, so it has to do a thing, and I'm rolling a die.
It's a round per level. Yeah.
Actually, I have to check that.
So save versus spell 1 HD per level persons.
Okay.
You know that as soon as they tell you,
They know. Yeah, they know.
they know they've been tricked. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I'm aware.
Codswell. Oh, the little one. Yeah, he's the mastermind behind the whole plan here. That's why the rest of the Wine Dark Mercs are showing up. He says he needs a big force, and he says he's got the money. I don't know where he's going to put it on him. Anyways, follow me outside where we're talking here. But
I should not have told you that. I should not have told you that.
Yeah, he's got some claims that he knows of some gigantic, really easy to get mounds and mounds of coins somewhere out to the west, and but he can't carry it himself, so he's hired us, and he's promised us a large share. So, yeah. And anyways, what was I saying? Wait a second.
I walk out the door when this happens, out into public in front of everyone else. And I'm in that moment. The other mercenaries are arriving. I'm going to say loudly, "Hello, friends. Your buddy has just told me there's quite the job on hand. Sounds like Codswallop's hired you for quite the stash. Is that true?"
They all kind of look at you, and they just look strangely at you, and then they look at their companion, who's like, "You tricked me." And they one of them is cuffs him on the side of the head and is like, "It's none of his business. He's a stranger. It doesn't belong to him. Don't you worry, friend. Nothing to do with you. None of your business." And as they're sort of telling you that, you see that coming up from the north gate and coming the normal way towards the inn is a large organized troop of what appears to be 20 more Wine Dark Mercs. So there's going to be about 30. And they are also bringing with them a full team of a cart and oxen, and the cart appears to be empty, and and they've got all sorts of straps and gear and ready to carry large amounts of stuff with, and they are rolling in.
Wow, it's almost like Codswallop took a play out of the fucking book that I suggested 15 sessions ago to get 80,000 GP worth of money out of a fucking dungeon and get it back to town. I just want to say that now I'm going to go work for Codswallop because you Muppets got us in this position in the first place.
I do want to remind you, Mike, that we did take 26,000 gold pieces worth of jewelry away from that pit. There's only 60,000 coin left.
No, there's 80,000 coin.
No, I have the charts right here. There were 6,161 Arcantian solidi, total value 61,610 gold pieces.
A large amount of treasure.
26,000 gold pieces worth of jewelry, which we took. And it is in the stash.
Well, then no big deal. 60 grand. no big deal. That's cool.
I'm just saying, don't get
Let
killed.
them have it.
We've got 26,000.
Okay.
Don't go crazy. Don't lose your mind.
So-
This is bad, but it could be worse.
So rallying everyone together is Bergdorf actually makes himself known at this point. So he's I actually can't remember what I described him as the first time, so I'm recreating what he looks like. He's short, He has sort of like a short shelf brow, so it kind of gives him sort of like a glowering look, even when he's in a good mood, which isn't often. But he has a generally like placid sort of like everything's going to be fine sort of vibe to himself. So he's one of those leaders where because of how evenly he speaks, it commands allegiance, basically. Like he doesn't have to raise his voice in order for people to follow his orders. You know, he's just kind of calm, cool. But he's actually like the shortest amongst like all of his men. Very like Napoleon sort of thing going on. You know what I mean? So he's he kind of rallies them all around. He's like, men, and he has them kind of line up, and he puts his hands behind his back and sort of, moves down the line to sort of inspect them, that sort of thing. And you can see like the one that you talk to, Holden, is still like like really mad at you. You know what I mean? But he's trying to obey his commander, so he doesn't.
So the parakeet, in the flock.
And he says so. And he stops in front of he doesn't like look that guy in the eyes, but Bergdorf sort of stops in front of that guy who had loose lips, and he's like, "We should all remember that we have been contracted fairly for a job, and that job is no one's business except ours and our clients. We shall remain quiet and discreet, as is our reputation."
Well, this is good to hear because, here I am, your client, your representative of the AV Club. I understand that you were talking to my employee, and he made some arrangements for a transfer of some goods.
He turns towards you as if he wasn't done talking to his men. Says, "I don't believe that you were invited to this muster, friend. I remember you. It's good to see you again."
Yes. And you contracted with my employee to arrange for some goods that I had him make these arrangements for. This is great.
Frater, I'm afraid I have to break the news to you that Codswallop has divested himself from your employment, and he is very much a free agent at this point and has hired us on his own. However, the terms of that contract are private, and I shall not discuss them. Men, we shall encamp here for the night. We will we shall get a good meal in us, and then we will head out on the morn and complete our task.
I'm going to turn.
So we're leaving now, right, guys?
Yeah, we can steal their cart. We're going to steal their cart, obviously. Yeah, we're taking it all.
Guys, they're mercenaries, okay? We have a shitload of money, like Ted just said, sitting up in our room.
Mm-hmm.
Avaricios, you're the only one who knows about this shit, so it's got to be you that does it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to renegotiate that contract and make sure that they know that we will ruin their fucking reputation in Gosterwick if they work for a thief to steal our money, and we will double their pay, whatever they're being offered.
I agree, and I would follow that by saying not only work for a thief, but work for a thief who's clearly promising money that he hasn't paid them yet. Because Codswallop does not have that.
We have cash on the fucking.
He does
barrel
not have any of the money required to hire these guys up front, so he has no leverage.
If he doesn't do that, then we start hiring his individual soldiers away from him, and we form our own fucking mercenary company. We can give each one of these guys 500 gold pieces to sign up for the AV Club mercenary company fucking now.
We can't, actually. We only have 1,000 gold in cash.
I thought you said we had 26,000 in the fucking.
It's in the book.
Form of 4 pieces of jewelry, which I said 3 times.
Show it to them and be like, "We have this money. You guys come work for us. We're going to start the AV fucking mercenary club."
We could pry the jewels out of the thing and pay the guys in jewels or something. Yeah. We have some cash, 1,000 gold in cash here.
First things first. Otherwise, I will fucking go hire a mercenary company and wipe them off the face of the fucking planet.
So as you guys are discussing this quietly, I assume, Kronos and Estelle are sort of like in the doorway of the inn. And Bergdorf sort of notices them, and after he sort of dismisses the men, and they start to sort of encamp, or the new ones basically do, right? But he goes over and talks to Kronos and Estelle quietly, and you see them kind of sending sidelong glances to all 4 of you, and they don't appear to be particularly happy. as well. And you see that they're paying particular attention to Sam as they are whispering to each other. And you actually see Kronos actually sort of shrug, does like a little minuscule, little shrug,
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll walk over to this little group, and I mean, listen. We are all here for exactly the same reason, right? We are all here to become wealthy. I am not afraid of this. This is part of who I am. This is part of the way that I express my service to my God. He wants us to have a good time.
Of course, Fred. Is there something amiss? Why all this preamble?
I think we all know that there has been a little bit of a kerfuffle. One of my employees, a member of the AV Club, came into a bit of information about our property, and then make no mistake about it, this is the property of the AV Club.
I don't know what you're referring to, but I know who you're talking about. It's the little one. We like him a lot.
Yeah, little Codswallop. He's a good guy, and I think he got a little interested in big eyes and some things that we have seen and working together, and may have jumped the gun a little bit. But here's what I think we should do. I am willing to whatever arrangements he has made so far. I can guarantee that I have cash up front to open your eyes and open your ears to hear this new arrangement, as well as taking whatever offer he made out of greed and increasing it at least twofold. I don't even know what he offered. Believe me, there is enough to double what he has offered, because he has no idea of everything. Believe me.
You see Bergdorf sort of smile a little bit slyly, and he sort of drops back behind Kronos and Estelle a little bit, and just sort of crosses his arms, and he sort of watches the conversation happen as he just sort of watches very keenly. And you see Kronos basically looks at his wife, and he kind of looks at you, and he sort of shrugs, and he's like, I don't know. You take me aback a little bit there, Frater. If you want to give me some money, then I'm all for it, of course. But I don't know what you're talking about, trumping his deal, or he's just he tells us that he's just here guarding the room for you, occupying it with Sam there, and he's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Well, where is he? He left last night. If you think that this is what he's doing, where is he?
I no idea where that little guy is. He tends to run around a lot. The men love him.
Oh, I'm sure he's a very lovable guy. The little pointy ears. We'll have a soft spot for them. But listen, the deal that he made with these mercenaries, we are going to take this over. Do not worry about that. But you and I think, need to have a conversation, because there are some things that we can, I think, make very profitable for you two. I'm
always open to making some profit, of course. Your friend over there looks like he really wants to say something.
Titus is going to come up and just whisper in your ear briefly. Have you actually checked your stash? It's possible that Sam is the problem and Cods is dead.
I doubt that, but
I mean, just saying. Maybe they came to get the stash, and they don't, because Cods never revealed the gold.
It is possible. We can check.
Okay.
Okay. You want for Holden to go check out the stash?
Sure.
I certainly
and I
will.
just met at dinner.
I'll be a huckleberry.
Well, how about the two of you go?
I'll go with him.
Okay.
Let's go check the stash. And if Cosmo's dead body's inside the chest, then we'll know what's going on.
So Kronos sort of claps you on the back, Frater, as you kind of retreat back into the inn. But and he's like, "Don't you worry, Frater. I don't know what you're up in arms about. You're spouting nonsense. But I assure you, nothing's going wrong. I know that all the increased forces here, got you a little bit in a tizzy, but there's nothing to worry about. You got good friends here doing their jobs. They spoke really highly of you, and I'm sure they're very happy to see it, to have you back.
Oh, well,
If we could
everyone
find
loves
that little fucker.
Yeah, everyone loves the left and the vision. It's just, it's what happens. But
It's true.
Here's the thing. My understanding is what it is. And as such, I'm, like I said, I'm a man of God. I'm a man of trust. And what I trust is the power of money. And so I'm going to stick by this deal I have made, or that I will, cement with our compatriots, the Windarks, who we have worked with successfully before. I'm sure that they will remember. I look around. John, do I see any of the troops who actually came down and did the scouring with us?
No, these are all new people.
All new people?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Well, there's a lot to turn over. Sure, I see. But yes, we've worked together before. They are very honorable. They are mercenaries. They follow the prophets, and I can guarantee this. But I could not help but notice, a change in atmosphere here. It's just been a few days while we were, gone discovering huge wealth. My compatriots are off securing it. But in the meantime, I noticed there is a change in atmosphere here. What is going on? I hear that there is not as much adventuring going on. What is?
Oh, I myself have felt it a little bit in the pockets. The goddamn goblins are. They're feckant is what they are. They're feckant. We
nice vocabulary. It's very good.
We hired those 10 men, Jan, and he points to like the original group of Windark to go down there. I mean, you remember, you were there. We wanted them to go out and find some goblins so we could interrogate them, so we could ask them about that W person, as it were. But that appears to have been some sort of false flag or something. I don't know who was playing pranks on us, but we ended up we caught a couple of them, couldn't get anything out of them, determined that it probably wasn't anything to speak of. But that didn't stop them from coming, I'll tell you that much. They've run rampant, and they're out there at night all the goddamn time, and they're hooting and hollering, and they've boarded up the pyramid, and none of the adventurers who come in here can go down that way now. Now, of course, we've got to send them in other directions, unfortunately.
Well, I have
like the tunnel on the bottom of your inn?
Yeah, I have a proposition.
Say that out loud, Mike, please.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know it yet.
My character is dead.
But Avaricio says, interesting thing. We make a lot of contacts, and we've explored quite a bit of the area below our feet. A couple of things. One is, don't get weird about it. We know about your tunnel, right? The one in the stable, the one that goes in a southward direction that connects. Yeah, we are well aware of this. We found it on our own. No, I don't have any offense that you didn't point this out to us, even though it would have been helpful. No, it's fine. It's fine. We are aware of this. But we've also made I'm not I humbly tell you that we have made a few contacts in our delves, in our explorations, and it is not inconceivable that we may be able to broker some kind of peace with these goblins that could potentially allow adventurers to go maybe down the pyramid once more. I cannot guarantee this, but we know a few people. You hear a few names. You save a few lives. As things happen, and we may in fact be able to secure this kind of profitable pathway. Get the business humming again. But,
you've had dealings with the goblins, is what you're saying in so many words. You've got pull with them.
A little bit, yeah. I
really?
can say that, yes.
Well, I like to hear that. That's very good news. If you can open up that passageway, that'd be good for everybody, I'd say. You do whatever you like, of course. Of course, I can't help but think that if you're the ones that've got the pull with the goblins, that perhaps you're responsible in part for having it being shored up in the first place. Would that be an accurate statement?
Or it could be you guys who've been attacking any goblins that you see on the surface.
Yeah, that seems a little bit more likely to hire a bunch of guys to kill goblins, and then but I can see how that would make them a little irked.
That's probably true. Not gonna lie. Don't have any.
Put that shoe on the other foot. I can see how you might feel.
Sure. Well, if you want to go rooting around with goblins, as I know is your want, that's your business, of course. And if you've got the pull, then yeah, we'd be happy to take you up on your offer. That'd be wonderful.
Well, and I think in exchange for that, what we would hope for is continued safe security here, as well as access, unobscured access through the tunnel that you have on your property. We don't need to be sneaking and stuff. None of that business. We're friends here. But, as far as goodwill goes, we try to help secure this. We will try to help secure some of our access going the other way.
Well, I think that what you're intimating is a little bit insulting, I should say. That the fact that we've been holding something from you, you had but to ask, of course. But yes, it's true that the entrance that we have here at the inn is something that is only we give that information out to people who have done us favors, and I think this is actually a pretty darn good favor. If you could open up that entrance for the adventurers and allow the money to continue to flow, then yeah, we might be open to allowing you to use our entrance.
All right. Yes.
I laugh from the stairs up above. Sorry.
Is there a dead goblin in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Meanwhile, you guys go up into the room and the stash is all secure. Everything's there.
Okay. No Codswallop in the bed, dead,
nope.
Hanging under the bed.
Nope. Everything seems to be secure.
Okay.
Sam's like, yeah, I've been pretty diligent.
And no evidence that Sam is up to anything.
Doesn't seem to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like a written
John,
contract.
I'm going to saddle up. I want to saddle up to Breggy. Not Breggy. What's the chief's guy's name?
Bergdorf.
I'm going to saddle up to him and be like, I'm new to Arden Vul, coming from Gosterwick, but even in my homeland, I hear tales of the honor of the Windar cohort. Much honor to you for your organization.
That's kind words, friend.
I understand, though, you now take contracts with thieves. This could hurt your reputation, I suppose.
Not sure exactly what you're referring to.
Well, I hear much about Codswallop the thief and how he is a dishonorable sort. And I'm sure that the hiring man in Gosterwick will be very interested to know that the Windar cohort takes these kinds of contracts, as lucrative as they, might possibly be.
I see what you're intimating there, friend. And
I'm not intimating anything. It's as plain as the nose on my face.
You know this Codswallop. You have evidence that he is a criminal.
I'm going to lie and I'm going to be like, oh, yeah. I'm new to AB, but I'm not that new. My really, really good friend, he was a dwarf. He told me all about him. He said,
So you can see that Bergdorf, he's not an idiot, right? Like, so he kind of looks at you slightly and he's like, he puts one hand on your shoulder, not in a weird way, but he's just
my
like
massive shoulder.
Your massive shoulder, yeah. And he kind of conspiratorially, he's like, friend, listen, I know that this is a tense situation and that you may have heard rumors about what this contract may be and that may be causing you some distress. I want to make clear, though, that the Windar cohort reputation is the bedrock of their reputation is on the fact that they never break their contract.
Right.
So but I know that you are trying
if
to.
Your employer lies to them. If your employer is a liar and a thief, then the contract is null and void anyway. I've been a mercenary for many years up in Wisconsin territory. I know these things. And you, my friend, have taken a contract that will sully your honor. I promise you.
That may be the case.
That man over there, that pudgy man with one hand, who's dirty, and it smells of the dungeon, is the only one in this place that can make a contract to retrieve their AV Club's treasure.
I don't know what you're speaking of, the AV Club's treasure. There's no idea what you're referring to.
People in Gosterwick will find out. We will make sure of it.
You're okay. You're giving me a lot of information. Now we've moved into threats, is what I'm hearing now. And so
not threats, just news. I'm a journalist. No, I'm just kidding.
So
John, can I join in on this?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna saddle up and sit next to what's your character's name, Mike?
Lothar. Brother Lothar.
There's so many new character names to remember.
Yeah, I know.
Holden's gonna saddle up next to Lothar and just listen for a minute. I'll keep going if you have other thoughts.
No. I'm waiting for John's response, frankly.
You
sorry.
dug a
Go,
pretty
John.
deep hole already, Mike.
So he, we don't have to like role play it out, but what he basically says is like he understands your motive. He doesn't have any reason to believe that Codswallop is that way, and he's certainly not going to take a stranger's word for it unless you have proof. He also tells you that the Windar cohort, when they enter into contracts, they make it very, very clear to people. And if we didn't role play this the last time when you hired them, then they still would have done this. Basically saying like, if you prove to be false, like if you double cross us, we reserve the right to basically end your life. So he says like if he's the Codswallop entered into a contract with first of all he prefaces it by saying he doesn't have to explain any of this to you, but he's doing it in order to because he's a nice guy. So he's basically saying like, I don't have to tell you this, but when we enter into contract with folks, we go in with good faith. We accepted this contract. If we find out that Codswallop is indeed false, then that is our bad, and we will end his life, and probably sow the earth that his family, or what do we call it?
Salt the earth.
Yeah, salt the earth of all of his family and all that kind of good stuff. Right.
Where anybody know where Codswallop is right now?
Dead, my friend. I'll do first and apologize later. I'm going to saddle up next to Mike. I'm going to say, my friend here has a point about reputations. As someone who's hired, I imagine that protecting the security of your client is the utmost responsibility of a man such as yourself. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if you were to divulge, for instance, where your client were, that would do great harm to your reputation, would it not, my friend?
I have no idea where Codswallop is.
Interesting.
I have one more idea, guys.
Do you know who does?
I wouldn't even venture. Friends, first of all, you're all a little bit too close into my personal space. So I need the entire party to back up and realize that this is none of your business. He is no longer a member of your party. He has divested himself for whatever reasons, which is your business, and has decided to go into business with us. And that is between him and us. If you interfere with that, we will be very, very, very displeased.
And yet, if you find out that this person, in fact, is false, as you put it, that promising you things that he does not have and does not have the right to,
then I will eat my words, and I will duly apologize to you and say that you were right all along.
All right. Well, what time do we leave? Let's head on out together, and we can ask him if everything is on the up and up.
Oh, you aren't part of this contract. That we will perform the contract. He hasn't hired you; he's hired us.
Go to the stash,
my friend.
time, guys. We go to the stash.
We gotta go tonight.
Of course. Yes. But I agree. Before we do that, though, certainly you may not know the location of Codswallop as we speak, but certainly he's given you a location to meet him at. Yes.
Again, this is none of your business. I don't understand why you're prying so much. Forget about Codswallop. He's no longer yours. He's ours.
Unfortunately, I can't. I'm not.
But you merely arrived today,
Guys,
like many of my men.
I have another idea.
Oh, I'm about to execute an idea.
I have another idea. Let's go ahead on the route, right? We get to the stash ahead of time, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we spend the whole night moving the fucking treasure if Codswallop's not there into another room and hide it. Or what we do is we call the dragon while they're en route to the stash. Like with gongs and cymbals and maybe a couple sheep like staked out on the path and see if we can get the dragon to do our dirty work for us.
If there's a problem,
idea too. Love this idea too.
Okay.
All right.
So we're basically at quitting time. So,
but I had such a lovely thing.
I'm so angry. I had to take off my shirt. I'm sweating right now.
Okay. Can I do one thing before we close?
Sure, go ahead.
Or can I ask the permission of the group to do one thing before we close?
Just go ahead.
When have you ever asked us for permission?
Here's my thinking. Here's my thinking, Mike.
All right.
Which is what I was leading to. If I use suggestion to make him divulge where Codswallop is,
It's gonna go badly, dude.
He's broached the contract publicly to other people who are aware of his reputation.
No, because if you magically make him do it,
he doesn't understand what I've done, though. He doesn't
are you
understand.
kidding me? The other guy understood what you did.
And
He knows
You're
I've
gonna get a
done
sword in the
something
face.
to him. No, he understands that like I've done a glamour on him, of course, but like, what justification can he give to anyone else?
If I was John, I would be like, you magically made him divulge the information. Therefore, he didn't breach the contract. Therefore, they find you false and they decide to take you apart.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
Yeah, they might
what
try
he
to kill
would
me for sure.
Might.
do. No, he will.
What do you mean
I'm
dry?
up to war with you, dude.
Well, why don't we?
I would say please don't do that, David. I would
The
say
fallout
please
of
don't
that,
do
the fallout of that potential fallout would be, big. So we should save it for next time, and you can certainly discuss the value of doing that over the week as we go. So you keep it in mind. Make your jot a note that that's a tactic that you might decide to pursue next time. But we'll have to stop it here. So we didn't get to C team, but that's okay. We will definitely. Well, actually, I think when we pick up, we'll pick up and resolve this immediate meeting between you and Bergdorf and see what happens. Well, it all depends on what you guys plan, but we definitely need to put number one priority on C team to see what they're up to. That is Rin and Yost and Elizabeth and what's her name, Lyda. So yes, and Mike's yet to be met new character to join there because Lyda cannot be played. So we'll pick it up with C team next time. And okay. So, I think that'll do it. So, that was a lot of fun, guys. So please, so my brain's a little bit mush, but anyways, thank you for watching 3D6 Down the Line, everybody. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget that we have a Patreon, and go check out our first publication, Feats of Exploration, which is available on DriveThruRPG and itch.io. There will be links for all of those down in the description below, and also don't forget that you can join our free but very fun Discord server where there's lots of good conversation going on, where you can discuss this latest episode and every other one of our episodes from our 2 campaigns. So please do so. In the meantime, I hope everyone has a great week, and we will see you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, John.
And I almost forgot to thank our wonderful Conqueror tier Patreon members. We cannot do it without you. Thank you for your ongoing and continued support. Adam the DM, Andrew Schroker, Dyer Grew, Eric Lawson, Faisal Grunt, James Doig, Jib Cutter, MM, Mando NZ, Mexac, Michael Schilling, Robert Valdez, Scott Earsley, Stefano Di Maiolo, Summon Toast, and Will Davies. Thank you once again.